Looking back at the last 12 months, you could say this hasn't been a good year for our oceans. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill and the radiation leak at the Fukushima nuclear plant are stark reminders of large-scale threats to the oceans, but also, tragically, to the communities living close by. However, these aren't the only challenges the marine world is facing. As oceans absorb human-made carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, they become more acidic. This process, called ocean acidification, is occurring at an alarming rate, about 100 times quicker than it would occur naturally. This may cause changes to marine ecosystems, leading to more species extinctions and ultimately loss of income to fishing communities in the future. We just don't know how many marine organisms will be able to adapt and survive this change. Alongside ocean acidification is climate change. Here too, we are not sure what the effects will be on our oceans. We do know that we are depleting our fish stocks at an unsustainable rate, and these new pressures, acidification and climate change, may bring us closer to a disaster we must avoid. We know that there is no real alternative to a meaningful and sustained cut in greenhouse gas emissions. And while renewables and non-carbon emitting energy sources are essential for humanity's future development, IUCN is also working on some important solutions that come from nature itself to capture and store the carbon that we do emit. Many coastal ecosystems, such as mangroves, wetlands, seagrasses, and salt marshes, trap and store significant quantities of atmospheric carbon. Some estimates say mangroves capture 4 times as much carbon as rainforests do. This so-called blue carbon potential is among many other benefits marine ecosystems provide, including, of course, nurseries and spawning grounds for fish. Many people see ocean-based energy as a promising way to reduce carbon emissions. In Europe alone, 25,000 new wind turbines are to be installed in offshore areas to provide 10% of the continent's electricity. This may, however, have negative effects on biodiversity, especially on birds, whales, and dolphins. But with sound planning, many of the potential negative impacts can be avoided. IUCN is working with the private sector to highlight how important it is to consider biodiversity while developing offshore energy. Although oceans are under increasing pressure these days, there is still hope. There are examples of well-managed fisheries in countries where enforcement is strong, which have led to the recovery of some commercial fish species, demonstrating that the ocean is resilient and fisheries can bounce back. In the last 5 years, the area of the oceans that is under protection has doubled. That's a very welcome development. More than ever before, people are aware that the oceans need our help if we want them to continue delivering the goods and services that we have enjoyed for generations. So it's a matter of translating that awareness into strong political will to achieve progress on the ground and in the sea.